But in the meantime, let's introduce our reason of why we thought that this was necessary and appropriate.
So we are just coming together to bring all of our viewpoints, our experiences, to give Black women the alternative thinking and just giving them information that we need to survive and thrive.
There's so many things that are avoidable, and through the work that we all do, we come in contact with these ladies, and we've just decided, you know what, enough is enough. We have to share these experiences that we have. We have to share this knowledge that we have. We have to go out there and help and save our sisters.
Welcome to the first introductory episode of Lead, Teach, and Style. And we are your sisters, and I am Norma Muhammad.
I am Shabri Muhammad.
And I am Dr. Nicole Muhammad.
Well, ladies, this is exciting. We talked about doing this, bringing a program to our community, to our sisters specifically, to help them and to help us, improve outcomes and reduce some of the hardships, right, that we experience way too often. Yes. So as this is our very first episode, our introductory episode, in fact, let's tell the audience a bit about ourselves.
Okay, well, I'm Shabri Muhammad. I like to say sister because I, like I do with my staff, let them know I am a sister to you. You can come to me, whatever you need. But my name is Sister Shabri Muhammad, and I am an administrator of a few educational organizations. I also teach ESL children up in China.
English as a second language.
Yes. And thank you, Sister Norma. And I work very closely with I'm a head consultant for an educational organization. And like I said, I'm your sister.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nicole Muhammad. I am a wife, a mother. I am also a clinical psychologist. I have particular expertise working with the geriatric population, but I've also worked with those who we say have persistent and serious mental illness, as in individuals who are sometimes in and out of psychiatric inpatient facilities. And I'm also a fashion designer, the owner of a modest women's fashion brand.
And I am Nora Muhammad. I am the host of Nora Speaks, a podcast that is specifically for the Black community. And my goal with the podcast is to tug on the soul and consciousness of the Black community. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a leadership consultant. I'm an inspirational speaker. And like Shabri said, I'm a sister. I'm a sister that has insights that I have benefited from, and I have the intention to share those insights with my community. Great. And you said you wanted to, Shabri, you wanted to tell the audience how we go back to how we all met each other?
Yes. So Sister Nora was my roommate in college. So I'm coming in with my trash bag full of clothes, my case of noodles, and in walks this beautiful sister. And we found that we were so different in so many ways. Just being from, I'm a city girl, and just being from different parts of town. And we bonded. And we've been inseparable since that day.
We have been inseparable, and I let me just say that when I was, I think I was coming in, right, and I had my bags, and you were already there in the dorm, and you looked so much like a teammate that I had in high school, right, whose name was Cherie, and your name is Shabri, and I thought that was interesting and cute.
Yeah, she always did this, right?
Yeah, she always used to do that. I don't know what that was about. But, you were very energetic. You were very assertive. You were very self-possessed. And I had never met a young woman that seemed so rooted in who she was. And boy, we couldn't be more different at the time, right? I know you joke that when you came to college, you came with a case of oodles and noodles, and you know, I came with chicken breast and chicken wings and
dishes,
and pots and pans,
spices,
and
luggage. Never met a black girl like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been inseparable ever since, and you have been an ally. You've been a sister. You've been a mentor to me, and meeting you has really just drastically changed the trajectory of my life, and I think meeting you has also changed my potential, you know, and I'm just so grateful that I met you how many years ago was that?
You're gonna make me do math on the camera? Let's see, 94.
We met
25 years ago?
25 years
Wow.
ago, yeah. And you've always, you know, you've been a dedicated, steady friend. You've been someone that tells the truth regardless, and sometimes regardless of how it might sound.
That's a good friend.
That's a great friend, and I can always rely on you to give me honest feedback and to allow me to go huddle in my little corner when I have to deal with truths that might be surprising or shocking or just hard to deal with. But
with good intention.
Always,
Yeah.
and that's what makes you a friend, you know?
I'm not one of those kind of people who say, well, that's just how I am, and I just throw it at you. No, that's not me.
No, but you're not going to let me continue thinking something that's incorrect, and you're going to stop me right away so that I don't continue with that line of thought and that train of thinking that's going to take me in a direction that I want to go in. And you've just been always that steady person, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, you think it's right away. I'm a little silly too. No, I probably held it a minute.
Literally a minute.
Yes.
And
Well, that's the kind of friends we need, you know, people who are in our corners and not afraid to tell us the truth and just want us to be better.
Yes,
better
our
individuals.
best selves, right.
yeah, and let's see, Nicole, I met you at work.
Right.
And
So,
you go ahead, you tell the story.
yes, we met at work. It was actually my first job out of graduate school. And it was not a job that I expected to have. I was working in a developmental center, and I had moved back to New Jersey after being in Virginia for a number of years for undergrad and for graduate school. And you just stood out. You were like a team leader in one of the buildings that I was working in. And there was just something different, I think, just very self-possessed and confident and intelligent. And I think we eventually hit it off too, and we just connected. And it's not something that you think you'll find. As the older you get, you don't think that you'll find someone that you'll end up being seriously friends with, not just an associate. And I think also we just pushed each other and just want to see each other be our best selves.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sister Nora and I, being very aware of our blackness, you would tell me, there's this young black doctor at work, she wears the nicest clothes, and she's really nice. And you would tell me how, I think you guys would have a meeting, and there has to be a psychologist and everybody who's positioned there to make decisions, and people would sit at the table like, oh, well, we have to wait for the doctor. And they're like, she's right there.
Right? They expect the doctor to look like her.
Yes. And we had this tradition as friends where we would celebrate each other's birthday, and we would have a surprise guest. You remember that?
Yes.
And so the surprise guest is usually a coworker, someone outside of our circle that that we just, somebody who would come up in conversation. And I thought, I remember the sister at her job. She seems really nice, like she likes her. So I called your job, and I'm just asking around. I don't know her last name. I don't think I knew her name. I'm not sure if I knew Dr. Nicole's name at the time, but I described just what you told me about her. And
Black psychologist, the only one that was there, right?
And you were young, I could say that. And Nora, you told me I don't remember who answered, but it was
Was it Lori Watson?
it was someone you also talked about at work, and I said, and they said, hold on, I think I know who you're talking about. And they put her on the phone. I explained the tradition, and Sister Nicole said she'd be there.
Yeah.
I've been here ever since.
Yes.
Well, let me go back to my perspective when I first met you, Dr. Nicole. I remember I was in my office, and there was a knock on my door, and I went to the door, and there was a woman who worked as a psychologist that I really didn't care for. And I didn't care for her because I didn't like how she dealt with the staff, who were often high school graduates, and who maybe didn't have post high school education or training, and she would look down on the staff. And I would always think of the staff as the most reliable people, the most knowledgeable people when we're creating plans for the people that we're serving. The people that I serve at work have developmental disabilities, physical handicaps, mental handicaps, and often mental health issues. So this woman in particular just seemed very callous, not just towards the clients, but also towards the staff that I valued so much. So the knock comes, I open the door, and it's her. And Nicole is with her. And she's introducing Nicole as the new psychologist that's going to be covering my building. And she was training Nicole. And I looked at the woman, I looked at Nicole. It was nice to meet you, because I'm thinking, okay, this is a lost cause. If this woman is training her, this is going to be a lost cause. And, Nicole joined my team as the lead clinical psychologist. And I noticed some things about you. And first of all, you seemed out of place in that area. It was a rural area. And my nickname for you was Fifth Avenue, because you were, she was so stylish, She was so stylish, and she just seemed so out of place. And most young women her age did not have the kind of role that she had. And they certainly didn't have the mindset that she had, didn't have the confidence and her own, self-possession. And I would come and I would say, yeah. Because you would ask me, you don't talk about any coworkers? Are there any coworkers? And finally I said, oh, there's this new woman who's there. And I remember, if those who are listening can recall, back to Jena Six. And Jena Six was a group of young black boys who had been arrested unjustly for something that happened at their school. And the whole nation of black people, that is black Americans, were paying close attention. And there was one day where everybody that was black, that supported the Jena Six crew, we were going to wear black.
Okay.
And so I came in and I had on my black, and we had a meeting that day.
Right.
And I'm like, I wonder if she's going to wear black. And she came into the conference room, and she had on black, and our eyes connected. Our eyes connected as if, I see you, and then that great time that we had the dinner, and you surprised me with her, and it was just, Nicole, you just fit in so well into the friendship,
Right.
with me and Shabri, and, we share a lot of the same aspirations and values, more importantly, the principles that we live by. And, and I'm just so grateful to have you, too, as my advisors, as my role models, as my sisters, as my good and dear friends. And now we have this beautiful venture together with Lead, Teach, and Style. And, and so I'm just excited. And I think that was great that you wanted to kind of let the audience know how we came together and met each other.
I think it's important. And with our friendship, by that point in our lives, we were very protective of it.
Yes.
I used to say that all the time. We're very protective of it, and Sister Nicole just fit in like a puzzle piece,
Yeah.
So,
I'm so thankful.
here we are.
No, I think you two have, both been a blessing in my life, and I'm just very appreciative that I was able to find, two black women like yourselves that are just so phenomenal. Two women I admire.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about where I worked at the time, there weren't many black people that had black mindsets. You know, it was, I have this job and I'm working a job and, I'm just going to, I guess, just live like people are, are told to live in America. There wasn't any thought of blackness or consciousness or what can we do specifically for ourselves. And to find someone at that time in my life, and we're talking past 30, and the ladies who are listening who are over 30, you know what it's like to, to think about.
I wasn't quite 30.
I was just over 30. So, and for me, being over 30 and thinking about kind of expanding my circle, I really didn't think it was happening. I wasn't looking for it. And so it was such a pleasant surprise, but we have so much in common. And, for me, the litmus test was, let's see if she wears black for Jena Six. Because if you have black, if you're black and you have consciousness and you care, at that time, then you were involved in some kind of a way, even if it was just that support, right? And you were the only other person that I saw that day wearing black.
Really?
You were the only one.
Wow.
And I looked.
And you told me, and I told you we were protective, and you were just giving me little tidbits. And I remember you said, her daughter has an Arabic name. We're like, oh!
Yes.
And then,
yes. Turkey bacon. I remember a conversation I was having with a nurse about turkey bacon. I eat turkey bacon. I don't eat pork. And this nurse kind of didn't know anything about turkey bacon. And so I'm talking to her about it because this lady was a little bit older than me, and of course there were some health concerns. And I was explaining to her that there's other kinds of bacon, right? There's other kinds of ham. You don't always have to eat the pork that is so laden with the salt and the fats and all of that, the issues and worms. Well, and so we're having this conversation, this nurse and I, in the nurse's station, and Nicole pops in and she talks about beef bacon. And I'm thinking, I've never heard a black person outside of my circle know anything about beef bacon. Who is this woman?
This masked woman.
Who is this woman? And and like Shabri, you said that we're very protective, and you kind of had to give her a once over yourself just to make sure And Nicole, I found that you two are a very, very protective friend. If I tell you about somebody new, you've got your side eye on. So I'm just in great hands.
Like your parents.
But I'm usually right.
Where's she from?
And you're usually
Actually, I don't think I've ever been wrong.
You haven't. I remember there was a woman who, I don't know how she found me. And she was, I think on Facebook, and she wanted me to support this event that she was having. And I said, well, you can come and you can meet me. And, Nicole, you had this serious side eye. You were telling me you don't know about this woman. And long story short, the woman ended up flaking out,
And let me tell you, Sister Nicole, she's always been like that because Nora is a woman's champion. Okay, she shares the spotlight. She's always, she gives her shout out. She loves her sisters. And even in college, she would meet someone who seemed fabulous, and she's like, oh, she's cool, she's fabulous, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, you just met her. You didn't even give her a chance to let you down. And I think, that's a lot of, why our show is so good, because we just want to shed a spotlight on a lot of things for other women who are out there going through the same things, younger women, older women, and they may not have a close person to say, hold on. I don't know, give her a chance. You can't just invite everyone in to your life, because people affect your life.
Right. So, as I said, I'm in good hands. I'm in very, very good hands.
I feel I'm in good hands with you too.
Absolutely.
Yes. So lead, teach, and style.
Yes.
What can viewers and listeners, because not only are we going to be on the podcast streaming apps, you can also catch us on our YouTube page and watch us as we laugh and giggle and have a great time recording.
Yes, lead, teach, and style. When we met, you talked about what you two were doing, and I was a school teacher at the time, a public school teacher. And, as we go on the show, we'll probably talk about all the different, turns our lives have taken and how we got to be to where we are and why it's so important that we share it.
Right, and we just have so much information that we've gained, things that we've learned over the years that have helped our lives to be just wonderful. And we talk about the friendship that we have, and we just want other Black women to get this information and to succeed in their lives just like we have. We just have wonderful things that we have to share, and we want other people to benefit from it as well.
Yeah, we're very. We believe that it is our responsibility once we have knowledge or information that is beneficial to our people. We believe that it is our responsibility. It's not an option. Some people think it's optional. I've known women who, reach certain heights in their career or their personal lives, and they think, well, I had to, go through the hard knocks. Well, now so do you. And, but I know that if I tell you how to avoid those hard knocks, you can get to your success or your goal a lot sooner, right? And then you can turn around and pull the next sister behind you.
Right.
And, that is, the ultimate outcome that we want with this show, Lead, Teach, and Style, because we want to share what it is that we know and to help women avoid the redundant error that so many experience. And so Lead, Teach, and Style. So where does the words Lead, Teach, and Style, the acronym, if you will, comes from? Well, I do a lot of leadership work with young people, young women and girls, and it is wonderful to help them grow and develop, and so much of that work is internal. And so, you have to put them through a certain kind of rigor or a certain kind of process to help them uncover the gifts in themselves, appreciate the gifts in themselves, and then be unashamed to use those gifts, where others can see. So, I do a lot of work with youth leaders and youth leadership, and, teach, Sister, Shabri, you're an educator, you're an administrator, you're an educational consultant. If you're interested, you can go back and listen to previous Norma Speaks podcast episodes where you talked about educating the Black child. And I know the audience is going to hear, so much of that from you on this show.
Right.
And, you come with a perspective on education that is just not discussed in the mainstream media. And I'm really looking forward to listeners and viewers, getting those insights. And style, well, Dr. Nicole, you're our resident fashion designer extraordinaire, with your modest fashion line so elevated. And so here you have Lead, Teach, and Style. And it is just our intention to, eliminate hardship, reduce hardship, and increase wellness in our community.
That's right. This is not a religious show.
Right.
This is not a show to a specific target of women. Anybody who listens, if you can learn something from us, that would be great. We come in contact with women all day, every single day in the work that we do. And there's no need for us to take the experience and the knowledge that we've learned over the years and keep it to ourselves or just hoard it for our daughters. They have it. And I just think as many women who can get a big sister, that's what we want to be. Anyone who can get a big sister, you don't have to come anywhere except on your own time with the podcast and the YouTube page, and come and get this information and use it to make a beautiful life for yourselves.
Yes.
Right. And from our interaction with the women that we meet every day, we just want other women to know that you do not have to have a life of suffering. You don't have to suffer before you can get to a good life. You don't have to make certain decisions and have to recover from them, and have so much to put in time and effort, emotionally, physically, financially, to have to bounce back from certain things. I think in our community sometimes we think that we have to go through so much trauma and drama in order to get to another point where we can live good lives, if ever.
Right.
And we just want women to know that it doesn't have to be that way, that you can have a pleasant, happy, healthy life in all aspects. And we just want to share that information, and we want women to actually email us, put messages on. We'll be on YouTube as well, to give us information, questions that they want us to address or answer.
And you can submit your emails to leadteachstyle@gmail.com. That's leadteachstyle@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we always include our contact information in the show notes for every episode. Our shows will be uploaded every first Wednesday of every month. That's how you can access it. Again, you can access it on your podcast streaming app or certainly on YouTube. And what else are we missing? We have the who, that's us. The how, we gave that. The when.
Where they'll be able to find us.
Right. So again, that's YouTube, that's Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher. I know I'm leaving something out. Google Play. And if you don't see Lead Teaching Style on your favorite podcast streaming app, you let us know so that we can make sure that we are where you are. We want to make sure that you can access us easily. And the great thing about a podcast or a YouTube page is that you can get this content on demand, right? It's not like it's a live show and, once it's aired, you miss it. You can always come back. Maybe one day we will do a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live. You can catch us live and interact with us during the show. That would definitely be fun. But, this show is going to be on demand so that you can listen at your leisure and also share it with those who are in your circle who you think could benefit from the show, from the topic, and from the conversation.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think we summed it up pretty well.
Yes.
Okay. So, this is our introductory episode. We're very, very excited to be with you, where we understand the responsibility and the privilege it is that you're giving us of your time, whether it's, the 20-minute show or the 35-minute show, where we are expounding on issues, some of them current events, issues that come up in our communities, national issues, where we can, like I said, share insights in our perspective. Our show, we say it's the news and views of the Black community. When we are turning on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, we're getting corporate media. We're getting a corporate perspective, right? So there are big dollars that are sponsoring and promoting these broadcasts. And so the media comes with a skewed view. We want to give you media from a Black perspective, from a truthful perspective, a factual perspective. And we hope that that's will resonate with you. And if at any point you find disagreement or conflict with something that you've heard, we want to hear that too. We want to hear what you think. In fact, you can even email us questions that you might want us to address on the program, and we'll be happy to do that as well.
Yes. I think, it's important to say, even though we're an authority on our different areas in life, however, we're still learning.
Absolutely.
And a comment or a question can always jerk a thought, that maybe we haven't come up with, and we can share it with other young ladies out there.
Right, and we're very excited about getting feedback and hearing what you need to hear from as well. We want to hear what's affecting your lives, but we know as Black women, there are just some things that we have in common, no matter what our background, where we come from, our experiences. There are things that we have in common and that we need to talk about honestly and unapologetically.
Right, and also, allow us to be your resource. If you have a question about your 5-year-old son that the teacher says is unruly and hard to control in the classroom, ask us about that. If you have a question about, navigating through corporate America, dealing with what you might consider to be sexism or racism, not getting the promotional opportunities, email us about that. If you have a question about education, if you have a question about leadership, about management, email us those questions. And like Shabri said, we can be triggered as well with insights that you share. As I said, I have these great women around me who help me stay level, who, help me course correct. And we want you to be our sisters and help us course correct, as you think it's necessary. So we're very, very excited to welcome your feedback and your insights. And, and this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us.
Right.
Well, we can't wait for this journey, and we hope that you stay and connect with us and join us along this ride.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our introductory episode of Lead, Teach, and Style.
Thank you.
See you back next time.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Lead, Teach, and Style. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lead, Teach, Style. You can email your questions and comments to leadteachstyle@gmail.com and subscribe to the Lead, Teach, and Style YouTube page. You can find links to all in today's show notes. And don't forget to drop us a rating and review on iTunes.